Hi guys, my name is Medintseva and you are on my crochet channel. In this video we will continue to crochet this Easter kit. This will be the final part of the bunny. You will find links to previous parts as well as to Easter cake in the description under the video. Also, in the description under the video you will find a link to my Instagram where you can send photos of your finished works. I'll be very happy to see what you come up with. Also, in the description under the video you will find a link to my Etsy shop, where you can purchase the pattern in PDF format, write a review and attach a photo of the finished toy. In the last part, we made the head and sewed it to the body of the bunny. This is the beauty we got. Now we will crochet the ears and sew them to the head. We take white yarn. Let's start as usual, loop and 2 chain stitches, and in the first chain stitch we make 6 single crochets. In the second row we make 6 increases. In each stitch we make 2 single crochets. At the end of the row there will be 12 single crochets. The second row is ready. In the third row we make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and do this until the end of the row. We repeat the combination 6 times. At the end of the row there will be 18 single crochets. From the 4th to the 8th row inclusive, we make 18 single crochets in each row. Be sure to turn it right side out after the 4th row. These rows are ready. In the 9th row, we make 7 single crochets and 1 decrease, and do this until the end of the row. We can do this twice. At the end of the row there will be 16 single crochets. In the 10th row, we make 16 single crochets. These 2 rows are also ready. In the 11th row, we make 6 single crochets and 1 decrease, and do this until the end of the row. We can do this twice. At the end of the row there will be 14 single crochets. From the 12th to the 16th row inclusive, we make 14 single crochets in each row. These rows are also done. In the next stitch we make a slip stitch, cut the thread, leave the end long enough to sew the ear to the bunny's head. Pull and tighten the thread, fold the ear in half. The second ear is crocheted in exactly the same way. My second ear is already ready. Now we will sew the ears to the head. So as usual, it's very simple. Place the first ear on the head and begin sewing. We insert the needle into the head and select the most suitable place for sewing on the outside. Now pull the needle into a suitable place for the inside part of the ear. Grab the ear from the inside, and in this way we determined the place for sewing. In this way we determined the place where the ear will be sewn. Here my ear will be slightly rounded, inward. Now we pull the needle out from the back of the ear. This part of the ear also needs to be grabbed in the middle. Sew only through the back part of the ear. The back of the ear was also sewn on a little. Check that we like everything, and after that we can completely sew on the ear. All the important points for sewing on the ear are defined. Now we sew the ear completely in a circle. Here I press the ear a little inward and sew it in such a recessed, pressed position. The ear should be sewn in a semicircle. The edges are sewn closer to each other and the inside is slightly recessed. We sew the second ear in the same way. After that I will show you what needs to be done to make the ears more vertical. Both ears are sewn on. You can see that the ears point very far to the sides, but I like them more vertically. So now we'll do something else. To do this, pull the needle and thread in front near the inner edge of the ear. And here we just need to sew the ear 1 or 2 rows higher. Here we can see how I insert the needle, that is, several rows higher. Pull out the thread and sew the inner edge of the ear to the head one more time. One more time, I insert the needle into the inner edge of the ear several rows higher. And sew it to the head again. Now we straight the needle and thread to the second ear and repeat the same thing. You can see that the ear has become more vertical. On the second ear we do the same. Insert the needle 1 row higher and sew it on. Sew on the inside. The ears are now positioned more vertically. I look at my bunny and see that I need to sew something on the other ear from the outside. So I straight the needle to this side. I need to pull the outer and inner edges of the ear closer together to make the ear more rounded near the base. So that the ear looks more here. Probably I have already said in the previous part that in this masterclass I show the process of sewing on parts more than anywhere else. This is where I need to sew a little more. I think we need to finish sewing on the ears. This is the beauty we got. I'm showing you a completely finished bunny. This is the beauty we got. All that remains is to make a bow. Pink yarn, hook 4 mm, we make a loop and 5 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we make 2 yarn overs. We insert the hook into the first stitch, grab the working thread, pull it out. We have 4 loops on the hook. First crochet the first 2 loops, then crochet the second 2 loops and the third 2 loops. And we need to do this one more time. We make 2 yarn overs, insert the hook into the first stitch, grab the working thread, pull out the thread. Again 4 loops on the hook, take the working thread and pull it through the first 2 loops. Take the working thread again and pull it through the second 2 loops. And grab the working thread one more time and pull it through these 2 loops. This is the beauty we have now. From here we make 4 chain stitches. We insert the hook into the first stitch where we just crocheted everything and make a slip stitch. We have 1/2 of the bow ready. From here we again make 5 chain stitches. We make 2 yarn overs again, insert the hook into the first stitch where we just crocheted everything. Crochet these 4 loops again in the same way as we did on the previous side. First the first 2 loops, then the next 2 loops and the next 2 loops. Again we make 2 yarn overs, insert the hook into the first stitch, crochet the first 2 loops, the second 2 loops, the third 2 loops. From here we make 4 chain stitches, insert the hook into the first stitch and make a slip stitch. Cut the thread, leave the end long enough to wrap the thread around the bow and then sew it to the head. Let's form the middle of the bow. First we wrap the short end of the thread, wrap it in the middle. Now, holding the already wrapped thread, we wrap it with the long end of the thread. We also wrap a long thread around the bow in the middle. We wrap with 12 and form a beautiful bow. Straighten the halves of the bow so that they are beautiful. The thread is wrapped around a bow. This is how beautiful it turned out. I needed to cut a longer thread. Insert the thread into a needle with a blunt end, and we need to sew a bow to the head. Since I have 2 short threads left, I tie a knot here on the bow. I fixed the thread in this way so that it doesn't go anywhere and the bow doesn't unravel. This thread had to be cut and left long enough to be enough for wrapping around the bow and for sewing. There would be no need to do unnecessary operation. But it's okay, the knot is tied. We sew the bow to the head in this position. I sew near the ear, but everyone chooses the most suitable place according to your taste. This remaining short end of the thread constantly pops out of the needle. I have to waste time and constantly reinsert the thread into the needle. So, as usual, everything is simple and it will be beautiful. This is how my bow will be sewn. It is likely that even this short end of the thread will be enough for me to sew on. I just need to sew it carefully and not quickly, and everything will work out. I hope the principle of sewing is clear. This is what a sewn bow looks like. This is the beauty we got. These are such beautiful 2 bunnies. The bunnies are ready. Now I'll show you how to make such a basket with eggs. Let me now show you how to crochet an egg and then a basket. Let's start as usual, loop in 2 chain stitches, and in the first chain stitch we make 6 single crochets. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the second row we make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and do this 3 times just until the end of the row. At the end of the row there will be 9 single crochets. We make 1 single crochet and in the next stitch 1 increase is 2, 3. 1 single crochet is 4 and 1 increase is 5, 6. And the third time we repeat the combination, 1 single crochet and 1 increase is 8, 9. In the third row we make 2 single crochets and 1 increase, and do this until the end of the row. We repeat the combination 3 times. At the end of the row there will be 12 single crochets. So we make the first single crochet, the second, and 1 increase is the first time. Again we make 2 single crochets and 1 increase is the second time. 1, 2, and 1 increase is the third time. Turn it right side out. In the fourth row we make 3 single crochets and 1 increase, and do this until the end of the row. We repeat the combination 3 times. At the end of the row there will be 15 single crochets. In the 5th and 6th row, we make 15 single crochets in each row. These rows are ready. This is what the future egg looks like now. In the 7th row, we make 3 single crochets and 1 decrease, and so on until the end of the row. At the end of the row, there will be 12 single crochets. 2, 3, and crochet 1 decrease is the first time. 1, 2, 3, and we do 1 decrease is the second time. And the last time the combination 3 single crochet and 1 decrease is the third time. The 7th row is ready. In the 8th row, we make 2 single crochets and 1 decrease, and do this until the end of the row. We repeat the combination 3 times. At the end of the row there will be 9 single crochets. The 8th row is ready. At this stage we cut the thread. Leave the end long enough to tighten the crocheting and close the hole. The thread has been cut, pull out the thread and add filler. This is what the egg looks like now without filler. Add enough filler to make the egg firm. Filler added. We insert the thread into a needle with a blunt end. Now we insert the needle into the next stitch from the outside, pull out the thread, in the next stitch from the other side. In this way, alternating and inserting the hook first on one side into the next stitch on the other side, we pull the thread through all the stitches in a circle. This operation can be done using a hook, but I prefer to use a needle with a blunt end. In this case, the thread is pulled through all the stitches in a circle. Now carefully pull the thread and tighten the ring and close the hole in this way. The hole is closed, everything turned out perfect. Now we thread the needle and thread to the side of the egg so that we can then hide the thread inside. Here we tie a knot to secure the thread. We pull the thread through the egg back and forth several times. In this way we hid the thread inside. Cut off the excess thread. This is the Easter egg we got. Squeeze the egg with your fingers to give it the correct shape. In total we need to make 3 such eggs. They fit perfectly in this basket. Now I'll show you how to crochet an egg basket. Hook 4 mm, brown yarn. Let's start as usual. Loop in 2 chain stitches, and in the first chain stitch we make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the second row we make 6 increases. In each stitch we make 2 single crochets. At the end of the row there will be 12 single crochets. This is the first increase. This is the second increase. The third increase. The fourth increase. The fifth increase. And the last 6th increase. The second row is done. In the third row we make 12 increases. In each stitch we make 2 single crochets. At the end of the row there will be 24 single crochets. The third row is done. In the fourth row, we make one single crochet and one increase, and do this until the end of the row. We repeat the combination 12 times. At the end of the row there will be 36 single crochets. From the 5th to the 9th row inclusive, we make 36 single crochets in each row. We also turn the crochet in right side out. These rows are done. The wrong side with the end of the thread is inside. This end of the thread can either be sewn inside with a regular needle and thread or pull it through the stitches so that it's securely fixed. Now we continue to make the handle in the basket. From here we make 25 chain stitches. 2, 3. In total we make a chain of 25 chain stitches. A chain of chain stitches is made. On the other side of the basket, somewhere in the middle, this handle needs to be attached. You can count the stitches on both sides to get the same number. I attached it approximately in the middle by using a slip stitch. Cut the thread, pull and tighten the thread. Here we have such a beautiful basket for Easter eggs. We pull the end of the working thread through the stitches to the other non-working end in the middle of the basket inside. We thread it through the stitches, first on one side, then on the other. Please note that I turned the basket inside out. Here, along the way, we can tie a knot so that the thread doesn't go anywhere. I thread this thread further to the other end of the thread. Now these ends of the threads can be sewn on with a regular needle and thread, and in this way they can be fixed and hidden. Let's do it ourselves and I'll show you the finished result. This is the basket I got. Place the Easter eggs you made into the basket. Only I still need to make 2 more eggs for this basket, which I haven't done yet. Here is my finished basket with eggs already made for another bunny. This is how beautiful it looks. This concludes this part of the masterclass. I hope you like everything and feel satisfied. I wish you all the best and see you soon.